It's one of the biggest races of the season. Welcome to Indianapolis, Indiana, the motorsports capital of the world. This is the Lucas Oil World Figure 8 Tour. It's a 50-lap featured event, and we should tell you that Mr. McMurtry has drawn a 15, so they'll invert the top 15 cars here. Ken Stout and Brian Olson ready to call all the action for you, and Rob Klepper is down trackside, and some of the biggest names in the business have competed in this very prestigious Figure 8 race.
It is absolutely electric as we get set to go World Figure 8 racing here at the Speedrome, fellas. If your name is not Tunney, McMurtry of Norton, you haven't visited Victory Lane this year. But if your name is Foyt, Darrell Walter, John Andretti, Gary Bettenhouse, and Johnny Rutherford, these are just some of the names that have raced at the historic Indianapolis Speedrome. Will we see a new winner here tonight? We're going to have to stay tuned and find out, guys. It's time to go racing.
And here's a good look at the cars. As you can see, purpose-built machines. Brian Olson, these things make a lot of steam. Sill plates on both sides to help them turn. They have to turn left, they have to turn right, so typically we'll have an open rear end. Bobby Whitaker is the guy on the pole, but as I mentioned, McMurtry, who was very fast, drew a 15, so they're inverting the top 15 cars.
That's right, Ken, and when you are in the 15th spot on this course, that's a long way to travel on a Figure 8 track, but remember, we're running 50 laps here tonight.
Yeah, McMurtry, the winner of feature number 1. We have thrown the green flag and racing again. 3 wide right off the bat, deep in the pile. There's really not enough room to do that on this track.
One of the most famous tracks in the world here in the southeast corner of Indianapolis, Indiana, the Speedrome. And Casey White making it look pretty easy so far, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, he is absolutely checked out here so far. Of course, that means he'll be the first one to get into the tail of the field here eventually at the intersection. Of course, the tap out on the sill plate there, getting some help from those guys, and Dairy Queen. You got to love that one.
Yeah, Bobby Whitaker is making a move all the way up to 9th already. And again, the key here is being safe in that intersection, or the X, if you will. That's the area you got to start watching for here, and it's going to start happening any second now.
Frost and Tunney. We heard Rob Klepper mention the name Tunney. Of course, that is a legendary name here at the Speedrome. They have such great success. We're on board with Austin Tunney, and yeah, there's no shortage of them either.
Yeah, Ben and Jesse and Austin, and you know, it's all a great big family affair for them. But they've been doing it forever and ever, and now I do think in the 3rd generation over all the Tunneys.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you, man, this is a style of racing where they're not afraid to throw down after the race.
Indeed.
I mean, it can get ugly out here, and it can get ugly back there afterwards. And Jesse Tunney goes through the spin cycle there one time, tries to keep it going, eventually has to check up as the field sails by.
And in this situation, it brings out a red flag, different than in orbit. So watching the replay here one more time. Now, all that's going to do is make Tunney mad. Somebody gave him a bump, and he's not going to like it.
I got to tell you, man, I'm not real sure he didn't do that one all by himself. Kind of hard to tell from that particular replay, but they'll throw the red flag and get them started one more time. We'll see if Casey White can drive away again.
Yeah, he made her look easy in the opening laps there, and he was checked out at that point. All bunched up one more time here at the Speedrome.
And Casey White had just gotten into traffic, so this actually plays right into his hands as, again, he drives away with the 41 car. So he'll have a clean track here for a few laps. And they started to talk about the setup for these cars. Of course, they need to be equal in the front. They need to be even so that they can turn left and right. They are center cars. They're not built with an offset like you'll see a typical oval track car. And then the rear end in this particular style of racing will be an open rear. They'll use what they call a Gleason-style rear end so that the inside tire that is not loaded up as they go 3 wide again will continue to drive. It'll get grip, but it's not a locker.
Unlike any type of a drag car or most other applications where you intentionally want both drive wheels to be spinning at the same time, the exact opposite here on the Figure 8 track.
Absolutely, it creates a push, so stay with us. We've got a lot of racing to go. And that's going to be tough because there's some heavy hitters in the pack, and they're actually fairly close. I mean, he's checking out, but there's a couple of guys battling back in there in the top 5 that are as good as they come, and a number of championships between them. Rob Klepper, you've got some more on the situation. These guys are going at it pretty hard.
Guys, a great battle up front, but how about the battle for that 4th spot? 5 World Figure 8 titles between Curtis McMurtry and, of course, the legend Bruce Tunney there in the 14. They are battling for 4th spot, going side by side. The fans down here going crazy as 2 veterans of the sport are getting it done here at the Speedrome.
And we mentioned it before, Curtis McMurtry, winner of feature race number 1. Jack Dawsey Jr. is also just ahead of them. He was a quick qualifier in time trials a little bit earlier tonight. So we're talking about the who's who.
They have definitely made their way through the field. And again, not an easy thing to do here on a figure 8 track, particularly when you get yourself into the intersection. However, these seasoned vets are the cars and the drivers, and the stars of this facility get the job done here tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, they can have all the credentials they want, but somebody better get up on the wheel here pretty quick if they're going to catch the 41 of Casey White, because he has checked out again. I'm telling you, man, he's got the perfect setup so far. Look at him sneak through the intersection, and that's what it's all about. You know, it's timing. You've got to have the guts to stay in the throttle and drive it right through there. Woo! Split the difference, baby.
Well, I tell you, that is some close stuff right there. And like you said, Ken, your timing has got to be absolutely perfect. And right there, White just makes it look easy, and it's coming right down to inches, man.
And you can see, I mean, that is just how quick it is. The last thing you're doing when you're leading is want to give up anything. And look how good that car is handling. I mean, it just drives right underneath those guys.
Yeah, you're exactly right. White now catching up with the back markers, if you will. Those cars that are running at the tail end of the pack. And in this situation, Ken, that will do nothing but slow him down and kind of foul up his rhythm, if you will.
Yeah, so he has to pick his way through them, and he's done a nice job of it. Then he has to, of course, get through the intersection, and that changes the timing of all that as well. And can he find some clean track? Now, good news for him is the guys behind him are going to have to deal with the same scenario.
Absolutely. And White, for whatever reason tonight, is absolutely making it look so easy. It's not, but he's making it look that way.
And last lap coming up here. Can he hang on and keep it clean one more time through the intersection and pick up the checkered flag? That's what it's all about. And I've got to tell you, Casey White has put on a show here tonight against the absolute best in the business, and he's going to pick up the win here in feature race number 2.
Yeah, that was a driving clinic right there put on by Casey White. And with all the big names and the heavy hitters in the game, it is number 41 going to the winner's circle.
There, as you look at your final top 10, congrats to Casey White, followed by Jack Dawsey Jr., your quick qualifier, and then R.J. Norton.
And guys, another driver from the Hoosier State, Casey White. First driver to repeat in World Figure 8 Tour history. Congratulations. I know you won down in Florida. Another win here at the Speedrome. You're known as the Big Cat. The fans were going crazy, but talk about that race, because this car was fast here tonight.
Yeah, we had a little bit of problem in the first race. We got the luck of the draw and started on the front row of the second race. Usually if I can get out front, I'm real hard to track down. This car is unbelievable. It's the same car as the 69 that won the World Championship last year. They've been turning wrenches on my car all year, so I got to give big thanks to them and my dad and my son here.
You had a world champion behind you there for a little while, but you were able to pull away. Did you have any concern that catching that lap traffic?
Yeah, lap traffic, I have some problems with lap traffic every now and then. I'm getting better at it. I knew Jack was behind me. If he caught me, he'd pass me clean. He wouldn't rough me up, so I really wasn't worried about that. I just saw his car getting smaller and smaller in the mirror, so I just, kept my pace and was able to pull off the win.
Well, congratulations, man. You won in Indy.
Thank you very much.
Casey White, guys, known as the Big Cat, takes one here at the Speedrome.